Bad, bad news for one of my hives. All right, we're doing some investigative work here today. The queen died, I saw it, and I want to find out why it died and if there's a queen left in the hive. So let's go dig in. Okay, I assume that the queen that died is from this hive because I saw the dead queen right outside of it. Might not be the case. It could have come over from the other hive, but the first thing that we need to do is identify if it really came from this hive and if there's a queen in there. But let's walk through the sequence of events. And what I'm doing now is I'm just removing the supers really fast so I can get down into the brood box. The sequence of events are, I inspected this hive on Saturday, and all signs told me that there was a queen in there and that the queen was healthy. I didn't see the queen, but I saw signs of the queen. I saw eggs, fresh eggs, good brood pattern. Everything looked good. I assumed we were in good shape. I saw no signs of swarming. That was on Saturday. Then on Monday, I come out here and I by chance saw the dead queen sitting right outside the hive. So my immediate thought was, well, they superseded her, but it didn't make total sense to me. Like, why would they kick that queen out if she was laying so well and things were going well? But there she was. And I thought, well, they didn't swarm, because if they did, they would have taken the old queen with her. But that's not necessarily true. And as I've thought about it, one of the things that I thought, and we'll figure this out today, I've thought, well, maybe they did swarm. They created a couple of different queens, and the old queen they kicked out and died somehow, and there is a new queen in here. And if that's the case, I'm happy about it, because she's laying well based on what I saw on Saturday. But I also feel a little bit embarrassed because I went out and got a new mated queen, and that would be a waste. Not necessarily, I could sell her, but we'll find out. So we're just going to start on the outside and just work our way through and see if we see signs of the queen. It's a little bit later in the day, so there is a chance that it's a little bit hard to see the eggs, but that's my intent. And if there's no queen in here but there are cells, then I will destroy those cells and put the new queen in. Okay, we're watching for the queen. Do not see a queen. As I worked my way through the brood box, I kept expecting to see signs that confirmed my suspicion. But what I actually found really surprised me. The hive was actually queenright. So I didn't see the queen herself, not for lack of trying. I actually went through the hive twice. But there were fresh eggs throughout, just laid, so I knew she was in there, and the hive was packed with bees. Somehow, despite the dead queen outside, this colony had everything under control. I don't know why I'm consistently surprised by this. Once again, the bees reminded me of something I keep learning over and over. They usually know what they're doing better than I do. And most of the time, my job is to observe, not get in the way. It's also a great reminder that the fun of beekeeping isn't just in getting the honey or the inspections. It's actually in the problem solving, the surprises, and the learning that never stops. I used to get really frustrated by these things, and I admit that I still do, but it's fun to figure out the problems that occur, or the challenges. Now, here's where things got a little tricky. I mentioned this earlier, but I had already ordered a mated queen, thinking I'd need to replace the one they lost. So I gave Bruce from Bruce's Bees a quick call to get his take on what I should do, and he suggested using her to start a small resource hive, so kind of a backup colony I could draw from if needed. Normally I don't like to add more hives, but this one made sense to me, so that's what I did. One unexpected queen loss turned into a good learning moment, a new hive, a fresh reminder that bees are smarter than we think, and continue to be reminded of that. Does that look like a hive that swarmed to you? I don't think so. It's the following day, and the short story is the hive from which the dead queen originated is queenright. We saw new eggs in there. I didn't find the queen, went through it a couple times, but didn't find her, which isn't super surprising. The hive was packed and it was getting late. And now what I'm going to do, because I bought a mated queen, is I'm going to come into this hive and just double check to make sure this hive is queenright before I make any more decisions. I'm assuming that it is, but we'll find out. And then I'm going to take that newly mated queen and start a nuke with her, a resource hive with her, because you never know what's going to happen. Because I already have it, and let's just use it. So I'll pull resources from this hive in the form of frame of brood, probably take some nurse bees as well, and probably some frame with honey and pollen on it, or nectar and pollen. And so let's dive in. All right, I'm not going to mess around much with the supers. I'm just going to remove them and get to the bottom. I say that, but sometimes it's fun for me to play around just a little bit more than that, but mostly just want to get to the bottom. We put this super on Saturday. Looks like they've already cemented a lot of it down, and there's a lot of bees in there already, which is what we would hope. Oh man, that is awesome. Look at that. This one's going to be difficult to remove as the nectar flow, peak of the nectar flow really hits, just because it's so high up. I'm going to have to get my son out here to help me. Already putting on some weight. It's awesome. Oh. Okay, we are looking to make sure that this hive is queenright. Then we're going to find a resource frame and a brood frame and move it over to a nuke. Or a nook. I've heard people pronounce it different ways. Once we've confirmed this hive is queenright, we will move on and find a good brood frame. Oh, there's the queen right there. That's funny. Right here. So now we just need to find a frame that has a bunch of brood on it. Can you see that? Right there. I love it when you find the queen early. That's awesome. I'm looking for a frame full of capped brood. Not drones, ideally, and nurse bees to go with it. Okay, there's a candidate. I like that you have resources on there plus comb, or brood. I might shake some of these bees off into the nuke also. That's an awfully good one, isn't it? Ooh, oh my goodness. All right, I can't help it. Let's take this one. All right, in this one, this nuke right here, I'm going to put this frame right here, which is a load of brood. So they should get growing really quickly. Put that here. And I'm going to add a resource frame as well, and then maybe shake off some bees in there, knowing that they all won't come back. Here's our resource frame. You have a lot of nectar on there, a lot of pollen, some brood, nothing crazy. And here's the other side. You can see that. All right, so here is our queen. She's an Italian. Got her here from a local seller in Utah. Now I just moved her over from a queenright colony, remember? So we'll see how all these bees react. They're balling up one of the attendants right there, so that's not a great sign. So let's just, before I move her in, let's just see how they start reacting. So here they come. I don't see them trying to sting her yet. We've got the candy in here, so it should take them a couple days to release her. There is some fighting between the attendants and the newbies. They probably don't realize they're without a queen, obviously. Yeah, fighting. Look at that little fighting, they're balling up. Yeah, I think they are not super receptive to her right now. So hopefully that changes as they realize they don't have a queen. Okay, well, nothing to it but to let them figure it out. So hopefully they warm up to her soon. Yeah, I see them kind of sticking their bums down in there rather than sticking their faces down in. It's typically not a great sign. Okay, so I'll move her down in here. Just let them figure it out. I also like to put a few sticks and things at the entrance just so that they realize they're in a different location and we minimize the bees flying back to their old hive. So they redo their orientation flight. Okay, there we go. See how it goes. Fingers crossed. Give her a few days.